Hiring your first employee is very exciting, but it also comes with a lot of responsibility. Before you bring someone onto payroll, you want to make sure that the roots are in place. The right setup, the right records, and the right questions asked early. A clean payroll system is much easier to build before the first paycheck than after a couple of messy payments. Or maybe it's time to fix some of those messy payments. Hello C-Squared Collective, and welcome to our brand new series, Payroll in Bloom, Growing Your Team with Confidence. Our goal is to help you build strong payroll systems from the ground up or review your current payroll systems so that you can support your team, stay compliant, and avoid common mistakes that cost business owners time and money. All while using QuickBooks Online to keep everything running smoothly. Now, we are accountants, not an HR firm, so think of this as your practical guide to what we see every day working with small businesses and nonprofits just like yours. Be sure to confirm the details for your organization with your state and local requirements, or speak with an HR representative for more specific guidance tailored exactly to you. If this is your first time joining us, welcome on in. Each episode is designed to stand out on its own and give you practical, actionable tips that you can implement right away. And if you'd like to dive deeper, the full series is linked in the description below. As always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments or reach out to us directly at connect@c2accounting.net. So grab your beverage. Today I have a strawberry matcha, and let's get started. Before you hire your first employee, there are some very important things that you need to know. And today, we will give you a very broad overview and introduction. We will dive deeper into a couple of these topics as we grow throughout the series, so do make sure to stay tuned. First of all, hiring employees is very different from paying a contractor. We are doing a full video on employee versus contractor classification next, so we will not go too in-depth here. But remember for now, an employee is not just another vendor. When you are paying a contractor, they usually handle their own taxes, send invoices, and operate their own businesses. When you are hiring an employee, you become responsible for payroll taxes, wage rules, insurance reporting, and other compliance requirements. That is a pretty big shift. Let's now talk about what you are signing up for as an employer. When you hire an employee, you may be responsible for federal and state payroll taxes, workers' compensation insurance, unemployment insurance, paid leave requirements depending on your state, new hire reporting, payroll and employee record keeping, state, city, or district-specific compliance rules. This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to help you pause before hiring and say, are we ready to do this correctly, or do we need to do more research? Each state can have different rules, so do not rely only on general information. Look up your state and local requirements, especially if you are hiring across state lines. Before you hire, let's check a couple of basics. First, minimum wage. Do not only check the federal minimum wage, your state, city, county, or district may have a higher or different minimum wage. Second, let's check age requirements. If you are hiring minors, there may be rules about what work they can do, how many hours they can work, and when they can work. Third, work rules. Some states or cities have very specific rules for breaks, overtime, paid leave, scheduling, and final paychecks. Fourth, remote employees. Ask this clearly. Where are they actually working from? Not where your business is located, not where your home office is, but where they are physically doing the work. That location may affect state withholding, unemployment insurance, workers' compensation, paid leave, and other payroll rules. Remote work can be flexible, but payroll compliance is not always flexible. Payroll should be set up before the first paycheck, not after the first month, not after, we'll see how it goes. Not after you've already paid someone through Venmo 3 times. And here's a very friendly but firm reminder. Venmo is not a payroll system. Neither is Zelle, PayPal, cash, or a handwritten check. Those are payment methods. They do not calculate payroll taxes, create pay stubs, file payroll reports, track employer taxes, or prepare clean W-2 records. When business owners wing it, cleanup can get very expensive. You may end up dealing with tax corrections, penalties, amended reports, misclassification payments, and very messy books. It is so much easier to build payroll correctly from the beginning rather than untangling it later. If you are confused or if you need help, ask for help before the first paycheck. A payroll professional can help with setup, payroll tax accounts, filings, and payroll system questions. Your accountant can make sure that payroll connects correctly to your books and QuickBooks Online. An HR professional can help with policies, labor law questions, employee classifications, handbooks, notices, and state-specific rules. You do not have to know everything, but you do need to know who to ask. Let's take a brief pause and talk about paying yourself as a business owner. Because this is one of the most misunderstood areas I see when working with small business owners. If you are a single member LLC, paying yourself does not work the same way as paying an employee. You are most likely taking owner's draws, which means you are pulling money out of the business as needed. There's no paycheck, no withholding, and no W-2 at the end of the year. Instead, your profit flows through your personal tax return and you pay self-employment tax on your net income, whether you drew the money out or left it in the business. And here's where things get important. If your LLC has elected to be taxed as an S corporation, the rules now change. You are required by the IRS to pay yourself reasonable wages through payroll, meaning a real paycheck with payroll taxes withheld. You cannot just take draws and skip the payroll setup. The IRS watches this very closely, and getting this wrong can be costly. If your LLC has 2 or more members, you have a partnership by default. Partners generally do not receive a traditional paycheck either. Instead, each partner takes guaranteed payments or owner's draws, and each partner's share of the profit is reported on a Schedule K-1. Just like a single member LLC, you owe self-employment tax on your share of the income, not just what you drew out. And if your partnership has elected to tax as an S corporation status, the same reasonable wage requirements apply. Please do not guess on owner's pay. Work with your accountant or tax professional to make sure that you are set up correctly for your specific business structure and tax selection. Getting this right from the start saves you money and so much stress at tax time. Let's quickfire through a couple tricky payroll things that you should know. These are the things that surprise business owners later, so we want you ahead of them now. Bonuses are taxable wages. Holiday bonuses and performance bonuses need to be acknowledged on payroll. Gift cards and cash gifts are treated like cash compensation and are taxable and need to be acknowledged on payroll. Commission, cash tips, and credit card tips are taxable and also need to be acknowledged on payroll. Reimbursements and allowances are not the same thing. Allowances for things like auto are considered taxable and need to be acknowledged on payroll. Reimbursements for exact dollar amounts for things such as mileage or supplies are not taxable and do not need to be run through payroll. Before making any special payments, bonuses, gifts, or reimbursements, make sure to talk to your accountant or payroll professional. The goal here is to not make hiring feel overwhelming. The goal is to plant strong roots before your team grows. When payroll is set up correctly from the beginning, you can support your employees, protect your business, and avoid painful cleanup later. Thank you so much for watching today. If you've walked away with even one thing that you can act on, that is exactly what we are here for. If this was helpful, give us a like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know another business owner who's been wrestling with payroll, send this their way. We all need someone in our corner. There's more where this comes from. Check out the rest of the Payroll in Bloom series or browse some of our other videos to keep building financial systems that actually work for your business. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments or reach out to us directly at connect@c2accounting.net. We have links to our website and socials in the description below. We will see you in the next video, and don't forget, keep learning so that you can be rooted in wisdom and grow with care.